Your first look at high school football scores and highlights. This is First Down Friday Night. Sponsored by Whataburger, Dryer Vent Squad, your Community Health Mart Pharmacy, and B2EDI. Now your hosts, Mo Carter, Nick Kuzma, and Simon Williams.
What's up, everybody? October is officially here, and tonight we're rocking the pink in lieu of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Alongside Mo Carter, I'm Nick Kuzma, and it's First Down Friday Night, Mo.
Yes, sir. That's right. We've reached a very important time of the football season as lots of teams in the local area are doing their best to make a run for the postseason. Among those teams are the two facing off in our varsity game of the week. So.
Hey guys, Simon Williams here with you in Florence, and this is the game of the week, the site of our game of the week, and it's incredible that we had playoff action, almost a preview of it all. Here in Region 7, we'll have highlights and plenty more from this game between Florence and Huntsville later on in the show. Guys, back to you.
All right, see you soon, Simon. After losing a heartbreaker last week to Hartselle, Muscle Shoals returns tonight, and the Trojans traveled eastward to face another top 10 team in Decatur. Mo, let's go to the highlight. Do you see that right there? Fried Oreos on the menu in Decatur. That's pretty great. Football's been also pretty great, too, as Jerry Adcock's squad this year, 6-0 to start the season. It can't start much better than that as they draw first blood. Ellis Dickman to Jaden Brown, 7-0 Red Raiders at the end of the first quarter. Decatur looking to move to 7-0 for the first time since 2010, and things looked really good as Dickman once again to the end zone, hits Jaden Brown again, his second touchdown of the night, and he wouldn't be done as about 11 left in the second quarter. Decatur leads 14-0, but Muscle Shoals punches back. Already blocked one punt. You can't do that. Allow another one. Very next time the punt unit goes out, Zaylen Fuqua the one to block it and take it into the end zone for 6. Don't see that every day. It's 21-14 in favor of Muscle Shoals now, and tell me if you've heard this story before. Dickman to Brown, mama, there goes that man again. Daylight, touchdown. The game is tied. Jaden Brown catches 8 for 173 yards and 4 touchdowns, and the game, like I said, is tied. But Muscle Shoals ends up proving that last week's heartbreaker would not define them as the quarterback throws left. Touchdown, Haddon Vance from Seth Mosley gives the Trojans the lead, and they never surrender it as Muscle Shoals bounces back and hands Decatur its first loss of the year. Final score is 42-28 Trojans. Next week, Coleman and Muscle Shoals go at it while Decatur will play Hartselle. And speaking of those Tigers, they traveled up Highway 31 to battle longtime foe Athens. Hartselle going to get out early thanks to Rye Fletcher. He takes the handoff, rambles 71 yards to the house for the score. Hartselle leads 7-0. And later on, it's 10-0 as Tigers in the red zone again. And Jack Smith going to throw the out route to Isaiah Fletcher for another Tigers touchdown. They are cruising. It is 17-0.
Hey, Nick, I hate to spoil you.
I think we're playing.
Yeah, we jumped ahead. This is
now it's 17-0, and we're now going to go to the second quarter as Athens facing 4th and 1 from midfield. Cameron Gatewood takes the handoff, and he's stopped short of the line by Saban Witt. It's a turnover on downs, and then Hartselle capitalizes it. Lincoln Bryant strikes up the gut, and it sounds like we were actually on the wrong game, Mo. I think that understands.
Yeah, this was totally Payne and Hazel Green, which totally understands. You know, they both wear black and gold and red and white. So rewind. Let's go ahead and do this again.
Let's round it back up. Let's go to Hartselle as they're playing Athens this time. That is a 71-yard touchdown to the house. Hartselle leads 7-0. Sorry if you heard this before. It's later on. It's 10-0. Tigers gonna be in the red zone, and Jack Smith, the former First Down Friday MVP of the week, throws the out route to Isaiah Fletcher. 17-zip now, and now we're going to go to the second quarter. Athens facing 4th and 1. They need something, anything. Stop short of the line, and Hartselle, they're going to do what they always do. on the fact that they're just a really good team this year, Mo. Touchdown right up the gut. They led 24-zip, and the final score ends up being 45-21 in favor of the Tigers. Next week, like we talked about, it's going to be Decatur versus Huntsville. Not quite the undefeated matchup we thought it was going to be, but still should be a pretty good game. Then Athens is coming to the capital city, to the Rocket City. That's Cheyenne, Wyoming. Going to play Athens is going to Columbia.
So, Kansas City appear to be the top team in 6A Region 8. The Titans already have wins over Hazel Green and Fort Payne. So now the race is on for second place. Tonight, Hazel Green traveling out east of Fort Payne for that spot. Shout out to our people over at FPTV for the great coverage. Now let's go ahead and give you these highlights from Fort Payne. And it was all about Fort Payne. 4th and 1, Caden DuBose untouched up the middle, 9-yard touchdown, 7-0. Later on, Fort Payne on the move again. Jake Barnes going up top to Skylar Cody, and number 1 likes to have fun, especially in the end zone right there. 45-yard pitch and catch. Next thing you know, it's 14-0. Then Alice Akins would get in on the touchdown fest, the short TD run right here, making it 21-0. Fort Payne, let's check out your final score from that part of the state. Fort Payne goes on to win by a final of 46-14 over Hazel Green. They secure second place in that region. Next week, Hazel Green, they'll take on May Jemison, while Fort Payne will take on Buckhorn. Coming back closer to home, what about Randolph? Tonight, they were over at Sports Med Field, looking to stay in first place, at least with that tie with Priceville. Andrew Hunter, another former First Down Friday Night MVP of the week. Look at the pitch and catch right here, tiptoeing down the sidelines with his man into the end zone for a score right here, and it is 7-0. DAR, they were having a hard time finding any kind of juice in this contest against Randolph. And you'll see what I'm talking about right here. As the quarterback, he rolls out. However, the pass falls incomplete, so they are forced to punt. Then after that, Andrew Hunter goes to work by going ahead and handing it off to another former MVP of the week, Nick Strong. He takes it to the house right here, and it was all about the Randolph Raiders tonight on Garth. They are celebrating. Check out your final score from that area. Randolph goes on to win by a final score of 55-0. Next week, Randolph travels down to New Hope, while DAR, they'll take on St. John Paul II.
You know, you hope to have Batman and Robin. They got 2 Batmans at Randolph right now. Wow.
They really, really do. All right, last night, the Lee Generals were in action against the Buckhorn Bucks at Milton Frank Stadium. A playoff spot was on the line for either team. Bucks up 14-7. Quarterback Terrence Robinson hands it off to Shamyron Landrum. He dodges tacklers in the end zone. Touchdown, 21-7. Irvin McGuire trying to keep his guys motivated. Late in the second, Lee faces a crucial 4th and 1. Midfield, Brandon Johnson calls his own number. Can't find anything in the inside. Bounces outside, but that's not a good idea either. Jordan Curry and Austin Childress, they both tackling for a loss. Buckhorn takes over with great field position. Then Buckhorn running the 2-minute drill. Robinson tosses a dart to Camden Anderson. First down in General's territory. That would lead to this. A field goal attempt by Van Reed. It goes up and it is good. 24-7 at that point. Let's check out your final from last night as Buckhorn secures a playoff spot for the 2022 season. They go on to win by a final of 38-20. Next week, Buckhorn, they will take on Fort Payne, while Lee will travel to Gaston City.
Well, Mo, I love special teams. I love fried Oreos. I'd also love if the people at home would follow us. Of course, the Fox 54 Sports team's on social media. Mo is at Mo Carter Fox 54. I'm at Nick P. Kuzma. And our man Simon, who's going to be coming up here soon, is Simon H. F. Williams. Send us a tweet. We might read it later. And let's take our first break. Up next, we'll take you back to Thursday for some excitement, high-scoring games from across the area. That's next on First Down Friday Night. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, Mo. Hey, there's me. St. John Paul II had lost 4 in a row and 5 of 6 to start the year, and they took on a New Hope team who's lost their last 2 games in 2 different ways. A high-scoring one and then a 1-point win at Decatur Heritage, 48-47. And then last week, they staved off North Jackson 14-0. Let's get to the highlights as JP2 got the ball and got a drive going early. Robert Porter, he's going to get the handoff from Paul Andreski and almost completely flips the field. Falcons in the red zone off a 30-yard run. After 2 unsuccessful attempts, a big third down comes up. hand off again to Porter, but New Hope reads it perfectly. Noah Morrison was on him the whole time while William Rice comes off the edge to double team the tackle, forces a field goal, 3-0 JP2. A couple of drives later, it's Andreski's pass intended for Peyton Harris. It's going to be high and off his hands and right into the waiting arms of Leighton Pohl. Right spot, the right time for DB. He takes it back to the 20 before being brought down. New Hope will take advantage as Wyatt Bolden is in at quarterback. Play action on a sweep, and he will take it himself. Sneaks around 2 tackles and rushes for the 20-yard touchdown, 6-3. New Hope, after the extra point, will bang off the crossbar, but it might look like they won, but hey, JP2 scores 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to stun New Hope 27-20. That's a look at your final score for their first region win. It was next week we will have New Hope welcome Randolph, while JP2 is going to DAR. Westminster Christian hosting Madison County last night. Last play of the first half, Westminster Christian threatening to go up 2 scores. Brandon Mush takes a little bit of a high snap, drops back, fires across the middle to a wide open Landon Brown. They take a 28-14 score into the break. And although it was a high-scoring game, plenty of defensive highlights too, as Westminster Christian's Jack Jones played that deep ball perfectly and going up where Landon Duvall could not for the interception. But ensuing drive is the rare one where there isn't a Wildcat touchdown. That changes with under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter when Mush going to take the snap on 1st and 10 from about the 30 and immediately airs it out to Kyle Everlett, makes the catch in stride, touchdown, 35-14 with the extra point. Madison County responding on their next drive as it's going to be a little bit of a dump pass here, Mo, to Joshua Clark across the middle, becomes a 30-yard touchdown, 35-21 with the extra point. And just when Westminster Christian would start to pull away, Madison County kept it a 2-possession game. After trading scores a bunch in the period, Mush puts the game away when he puts the ball in the end zone with his fifth rushing touchdown for the first time Friday night MVP of the week. Formerly, he accounts for 9 total TDs in a 70-42 victory over Madison County. Next week, Madison County's at North Jackson, while Westminster Christian is at Priceville.
All right, East Limestone hosting Lawrence County. The Red Devils on Thursday evening. The Indians, they got off to a little trickery. Fortune Wheeler on the reverse, everyone. And he gets that great hook block around the end, and he's taking it down the field for a first down. Then later on, it'll be Fortune Wheeler once again with time on his side as he goes around the left side, and eventually he will make it all the way down into Red Devils territory. Later on, his quarterback, Jake Cochran, finds Alexander Mason down the sideline for a touchdown right there. Two-point conversion was no good. It was 6-0 to that point, and after that, they continued to roll. Let's take a look at your final score from this one as East Limestone ends the 4-game losing streak. They go on to win by a final of 54-13. Next week, East Limestone will take on West Point. Wow. And then Fairview, they will take on Lawrence County. All right, let's get away for some highlights real quick, everyone. As the partnership between the Fox 54 sports team, Pro Football Hall of Famer Walter Jones, well, it's rolling on for another season, and we've got another B2 EDI Walter Jones Offensive Lineman of the Week. It's Caleb Hill from Lee High School. Hill plays on both sides of the ball, including sometimes in the backfield on those heavy packages. The senior was recently recognized for volunteering in the community, and he's known to be a model student.
Caleb is the direct reflection of what you want your program to be. He's a guy that's going to be the first one in the weight room. He's going to do everything that he needs to do. He's going to work out hard. He's going to be respectful in the classroom. He's the one that all the principals and teachers come to me and say, hey, that guy Caleb Hill is a true delight in the building. And, you know, when you got guys who can be a little nasty on the field, but turn it off and go and be in the classroom and behave the way they're supposed to, hey, it's tremendous for your program.
All right, we reached halftime, everyone. Up next, we'll head to Class 7A for a trio of solid matchups in Region 4, including our varsity game of the week. Stay tuned for that. Hey, welcome back, boys and girls in Class 7A. There isn't much wiggle room between first and fourth place in Region 4. Austin leads the pack with Huntsville and Florence right there on their tail.
Yeah, Florence and Huntsville battled it out tonight at Brawley Stadium for a shot at second place. Simon Williams is in the Shoals tonight with more.
Hey, guys, I mean, you want second place, right? Because you want to get up the standings. But you really want first place. But in order to get first place, you got to win tonight and obviously have Austin lose. But between these two teams, Huntsville and Florence, we knew we were going to get a good one. We'll get to that one in just a short while. A team that's been good all year, they're riding a 6-game win streak, is Mars Hill. Let's roll the highlights. It was homecoming weekend over at Mars Hill, and the Panthers and Bobcats went at it. Mars Hill's first drive of the game starts off hot with a Damian Thompson kick return all the way to the 9-yard line. A very efficient Panther offense only needed one play to score. William Owens takes the first play from scrimmage, 8 yards up the middle for the touchdown. 7-0 home team after the point after. Next Mars Hill drive looks just as good. Griffin Hansen drops back, looks downfield, and airs it out to Thompson, who grabs his second touchdown. It puts the Panthers up 21-0. Phil Campbell found themselves in a hole early, especially with Thompson putting those good hands to use one more time, catching this interception with 9:25 left in the half. And let's take a look at your final score. And let's take a look at your final score. And in our varsity game of the week, Huntsville versus Florence. Florence led 20-7 at the break. Now, Huntsville might have had their best chance on this third down play when they tried for a double pass. Receiver throws it deep, but he drops it. Cameron White can't come up with it. 2 drives later, Florence with the ball. Quarterback Leo Glover takes the snap, and he takes off. He sidesteps a defender before getting wrapped up down to the red zone. Now things would get really chippy. A scrum a few plays later involved nearly both teams and resulted in a player from each side getting personal fouls and ejections. That disrupted the drive for Florence as penalties on both teams moved things back and forth. But eventually, Glover got to execute. Here, he drops back, surveys the field, and scampers again for the touchdown. This put the Falcons up 21-7 with under 6 minutes to go. And let's take a look at your final score. With a 21-7 final score here from Brawley as Florence takes down Huntsville, and they sit in second place. Depending on the result of the Austin game, they could move up to first place. We'll get to that in one quick second. I'll send it back to you guys in one quick second, guys. A note on Mars Hill. So they've now won 6 in a row, and 5 of their last 6 games, they've held teams to single-digit or less points. Crazy stuff for those guys over at Mars Hill. So with this Florence team, guys, they've been waiting on this Austin result. Let's go back to you guys and run the highlights with Austin.
All right, thanks, Simon. We're going to stay in 7A. Bob Jones versus Sparkman. Pitts brother against brother. Levon versus Kelvis. Patriots get the ball first. Keeper around the defense into the end zone. Put the Patriots on the board, and then Patriots going to get the ball back with Rashawn Hardy with another keeper into the end zone. Let's take a look at your final scores. Bob Jones wins it 48-40. Next week, it's Austin versus Bob Jones and Sparkman at Huntsville.
All right, here's that game Simon was talking about. Austin coming to Madison to take on James Clements. They're in first place and looks to stay that way. Early on, Gio Lopez, the reigning First Down Friday Night MVP of the week, fade route to Ty Doty. Comes down with it for a Jets touchdown. Extra point, no good. Jets on top 20-14. You know when they score touchdowns, you get a laser light show over there at Madison City School Stadium. But back comes Austin. De'Aaron Young calling his own number, breaks the plane of the goal line. Extra point was also no good. It was 20-20 at that point. Lopez would throw would set them up for a go-ahead before the half. Let's check out your final score as James Clements led going into the half, but in the end, it was Austin picking up the 41-33 victory tonight over James Clements, remaining in first place. Next week, James Clements will take on Albertville, while Austin will head back to Madison to take on Bob Jones. We will wrap up First Down Friday night on the other side of this break. right, everyone. Before we go, let's tell you about our First Down Friday night MVP of the current week. It's James Clements quarterback Gio Lopez. Now, last week, the senior threw for 353 yards and scored 3 touchdowns in a 24-point victory over Sparkman. Lopez, a South Alabama commit, is savoring his last days with his team before he heads down to Mobile next fall. Played a heck of a game tonight against Austin, but he just came up short. Nick, tell people how they can nominate folks for MVP.
Yeah, well, they're now open. Just send an email to news@rocketcitynow.com or head to the tab on our website.
All right, we want to thank you for joining us here on another wonderful episode of FDFN. He's Nick Simon somewhere, and I'm right here. See you next time.
First Down Friday Night is sponsored by Whataburger, Dryer Vent Squad, your Community Health Mart Pharmacy, and B2 EDI.